2 points. Just 2 points separated a champion from a what-if story in 2025. But here's what no one is really talking about. That title wasn't won with the fastest car, the perfect pit stop, or even some legendary final lap. It was won the night before with 3 words from a 7-time world champion. And if you think this is just motivational fluff, stay with me until the end. Because what Lewis Hamilton said to Lando Norris in that Abu Dhabi paddock reveals the hidden psychology that really decides championships. And it's not what you think. Let me paint the picture of how this season unfolded, because it played out like a brutal 3-act Hollywood thriller. Act 1, the underdog rising. After the Dutch Grand Prix, Oscar Piastri is in control. He's 34 points clear of his teammate Lando Norris. Max Verstappen, 104 points behind. He's basically out of the conversation. The script writes itself. Piastri's coronation is coming. Act 2, the summer collapse. 6 races. Meanwhile, Verstappen wakes up like a sleeping giant. Monza, Baku, Austin, Vegas, Qatar. Win after win after win. That 104-point gap, gone. Now it's Norris who's still there, still scoring, while everyone else is burning through everything they've got. Act 3, Abu Dhabi, the grand finale. 2 points separate, first from second. And this is where one conversation the night before the race might have changed everything. So what did Hamilton actually say? 3 words. Just do you. Sounds simple, right? Almost too simple. But here's the thing. When you're 1 race away from your first world championship, your brain doesn't think in laps. It thinks in disasters. What if I brake too late? What if I push too hard? What if I change my racing line and it costs me everything? Hamilton knew that. He lived it in 2008. Same team, same pressure, the same weight of being the chosen one. So when he told Norris, just do you, 1 corner at a time, he wasn't being poetic. He was handing him a weapon. Psychologists call this chunking, breaking something impossibly big into small pieces. Don't think about winning the championship. Think about turn 1, then turn 2, then the next braking zone. You string together enough perfect corners, and suddenly you're world champion. And look at how that translated on track. Norris didn't win every race in the second half of the season, but he did something more important. He scored like ice. While Piastri went 6 races without a podium, while Verstappen came at him with everything, Lando just kept being Lando. No hero moves, no desperate lunges, just calculated, intelligent, championship-level racing. McLaren deserves credit here too. The team clawed back performance in the second half of the year, delivered a competitive car, and built solid enough strategy to let Norris execute the plan. Tire management, pit calls, communication between driver and race engineers, it all built that crucial safety margin. But without the driver's execution, without the ability to not give in to all those what-ifs, none of that would have mattered. Now you might be thinking, could 5 words really have made the difference? And honestly, we can't prove it. Norris didn't publish his quali heart rate data. There's no brain scans showing Hamilton's advice literally calming his amygdala. But here's what we do know. Norris didn't crack. In a season where Piastri crumbled under a 6-race drought, where Verstappen threw everything at the wall, Lando just kept being Lando. No heroic overdrives, no wild last-ditch attacks. Just cool, calculated, champion-grade driving. And sometimes the biggest advantage isn't the fastest car, it's the clearest head. There's also a symbolic layer here that really matters. The passing of the torch between British generations. Hamilton, who won his title with McLaren in 2008 and then built a historic legacy, looks at Norris and sees a reflection of what he once lived through. The message isn't just technical, it's cultural. It's like saying, I've been exactly where you are. Trust what got you here. In a sport that looks so individual, that kind of public recognition from an icon creates a narrative and responsibility, and possibly a friendship that could turn into ongoing mentorship, or a rivalry, time will tell. The race itself wrapped up the story in cinematic fashion. Verstappen pushed to the very end. Piastri tried to respond. And Norris brought home the podium he needed. 2 points separate, champion from runner-up. 2 points that feel like an eternity when you remember those 6 podiumless races from the guy who led the standings. 2 points that maybe, just maybe, were protected by a sentence of just a few words. When Hamilton said, winning your first world championship is truly special, I know what the feeling is. That wasn't just empathy. It was a recognition that what Norris was feeling could either paralyze him or propel him. And Norris chose the second option. But some questions are still hanging in the air. And those are the questions that will define 2026. Will Hamilton keep being an active mentor? Will Norris have the mental resources to repeat that level when the hunt for a second title brings even more pressure? And how will McLaren make sure the car and the organization keep up with their new role as the ones everyone is aiming at? Next season changes the board completely. Now every rival is working to bring down the champion, and the pressure takes on a different tone. So lock this image in your mind. A young British driver, under crushing pressure from every direction, gets 5 words from a legend who has stood in that exact same place. Just do you, one corner at a time. It wasn't magic. It wasn't poetry. It was a tool, a mental anchor that turned chaos into routine and routine into a world championship. Because at the end of the day, Formula One isn't just won in wind tunnels and pit lanes. It's won in the 6 inches between a driver's ears. If you want more stories like this, the hidden psychology, the unheard conversations, the real reasons why championships are won and lost, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Because here on F1 Revealed, we don't just tell you what happened, we reveal why it happened.